Nin explains the top 10 weirdest sports in the world, part 3. You're doing another one of these? Boy, you must be really running out of ideas. Yeah, kind of. But it's mainly because more and more weird sports keep appearing on my YouTube feed. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe, obviously, and turn on the notifications so that you can see these on your feed. But here's 10 more of the weirdest sports in the world. Number 1. SPORTHOCKER. Are you a lazy bastard who likes to sit down on a chair, but finds the act of doing so incredibly boring? Why not spice it up a notch and be a SPORTHOCKER? Those normally sensible Germans have invented a sport where you have to find the most creative way of sitting down on a chair. The idea is to perform the most visually aesthetic way to sit down on a special stool, known as a hocker, and the person adjudged to have done so wins. I kid you not, this is an actual thing, and it's pretty big in Germany. Number 2. YUKIGASSEN. It wouldn't be a weirdest video without the Japanese, who have taken a simple pastime and turned it into a violent sport. Imagine taking a simple snowball fight and arming players with pads, helmets and snowballs so hard that they feel like rocks. That's basically what the Japanese call YUKIGASSEN. The game is played between two teams, and the idea is to hit your opponent with these specially manufactured snowballs, which are all the same size and weight. Once an opponent is hit, they're out. The team that scores the most amount of hits, captures their opponent's flag without being hit, or eliminates their opponents completely, wins. It's weird, but I'd totally play it. Number 3. Underwater anything. Take a perfectly normal sport and play it in a pool underwater, and you get a quote-unquote completely new sport. Believe it or not, sports exist such as underwater football, underwater hockey, underwater rugby, and, for some reason, underwater target shooting. But I've not seen anyone play underwater Quidditch yet. I assume some idiot watching this video will be inventing that pretty shortly. Number 4. Gaga. This was originally an Israeli sport that was introduced into the US, and it kinda looks like dodgeball but in a very small octagonal ring. And that's exactly what it is. The idea is to slap the ball into another person, and if it hits them anywhere below the waist, they're out and they have to leave the ring. This process of elimination carries on until there's only one player left. If you're the last person standing, you win. Kind of. Number 5. Pillow fighting. Ooh, MMA, it's too violent. We don't want our ladies being hurt in combat. That's probably what the calm country of Canada thought when they invented this. Professional pillow fighting. A sport specifically for women, the idea is to beat the crap out of your opponent using a giant oversized pillow. Most moves are legal so long as you use the pillow in some form or another. Grappling, hits to the back of the head, choking your opponent until they asphyxiate, it's all perfectly legal so long as you use that pillow. I think the stereotype of Canada being a peaceful nation is grossly exaggerated. Number 6. Kanninhoppning. Sweden apparently has a distinct lack of horses. How else do you explain why they chose to do equestrian show jumping with bunny rabbits? Yes, the rules of the sport are almost identical to the Olympic version played with horses, and the rabbit who completes the course with the fewest amount of faults is the winner. And for those of you who think this is just a gimmick, they now have a World Rabbit Hopping organisation that organises contests around the world. Seriously. Number 7. Zorbing. Would you like to roll down a hill inside a giant inflatable ball, suffering from enough G-forces to make you spew vomit all over yourself? Well, now you can. In various parts of the world, but especially in England, you can race these things. The fastest down the hill, or the first one to get to the bottom in a race, is the winner. Well, the English have to be the best in the world at something, right? Number 8. Giant pumpkin kayaking. When you don't have the money to do normal kayaking, why not grow a giant pumpkin and use that instead? Said no one ever. Wait a minute, they actually just did that. Over in North America, there are places where you can contest races in a giant carved out pumpkin. It's basically like normal kayaking, and, as with any race, the first person to get to a specific point wins. You don't actually win anything other than the shame of coming first in a totally pointless sport. Number 9. Booty slapping. In the last video, I mentioned the Russian game of slaps, where the point is to knock out your opponents by slapping them in the face. This is usually contested by men, and the women must have felt a little left out because they came up with their own version. The object of this game is to slap the ass of your opponent and try and get them to either quit or fall over. Players take it in turns to do this, and the last one standing is the winner. But when the athletes look like this, it's kinda easy to see past the total weirdness of it all. In fact, let's just watch this for a little bit. Okay, moving on. Number 10. Car curling. Russia makes 2 appearances in this video, and their second sport is this, car curling. It's played exactly the same as regular curling, but instead of one person pushing around a curling rock and the others using a broom to steer it, there's several people pushing a car, and someone still actually in the damn thing using the steering wheel to change its direction. The object of the game is the same. The car closest to the centre of the house wins. Vodka consumption in vast quantity is highly encouraged. Seriously, there's no rules against that. Now I know what you're going to say next because you're all so freaking predictable.
Oh, you forgot about cheese rolling.
Dumbass, you forgot about cheese rolling.
Cheese rolling.
Cheese rolling.
Cheese rolling. Cheese rolling. Cheese rolling.
Firstly, I didn't quote unquote forget because cheese rolling is not a sport. For those of you that don't know what it is, once a year on a hill in Gloucestershire, people gather at the top and wait for a roundel of cheese to be rolled down a hill. The first person to run down to the bottom of the hill and grab the cheese wins the block of cheese. This usually results in people falling over and breaking various bones and ligaments trying to win something that you can easily buy at your local supermarket. It's not a sport, because it's not contested regularly, hence the once a year thing, and also there are no apparent rules. So you could punch that fat bitch who's also trying to win that block of mouldy cheese. I repeat, not a sport. Is there any more sports that I don't know about? Comment below, and if there's enough to make a 4th video, I'll do that. But I'm pretty sure I covered most of them. Not a sport.